Deep two. Yes. Drives it from the corner.
Pull up, three. Good.
Step back three. That's a good shot for three.
Stepping through off the window, good. Stepping through the raindrops and the finish on the right hand.
And then it's going to Boomers' way with back-to-back threes. The Boomers, a WNBL chance.
Hello and welcome to 36ers Arena, where tonight we will celebrate the first of two Adelaide Pride games this weekend. The Lightning broke a 5-game losing streak last week against Townsville and will be keen to make it 2 in a row on their home floor. On the flip side, their opponent Sydney are on the rebound from a loss to Perth and will be looking to rediscover their winning form. Jess Webster with you alongside renowned women's basketball coach Laurie Chiswick. And Laurie, it's going to be a special night for the Adelaide Lightning.
It certainly is, Jess, and what a wonderful initiative it is from Marina Whittle, who is the driving force behind this Pride game. You know, she talks about the focus being on support, respect, and inclusivity, and offering a safe sporting space for all community. Adelaide, as you can see, are wearing special uniforms. They're in the black tonight, and don't they look fantastic?
Absolutely. You can see the rainbow strip on the side of their singlets there. And that woman on screen, Isabel Borlace, let's have a chat about her. She was brilliant last week in their win against Townsville, their first win against a top 4 side this year with 23 points. She was sensational. So take a look at some of her highlights.
Well, I mean, such a young player and playing such a big game against a really worthy opponent. And that 23 points that she scored, Jess, was 60% from the three-point line and earned her a spot in the Team of the Week.
It's one of the things we love to see in this competition. A young South Australian product, as you mentioned, just 19 years of age, really making her mark. The future is certainly bright with players like Borlace lighting up the competition. She also had a couple of rebounds as well and really set up an important victory for Adelaide. It keeps them mathematically a chance of finishing in the top 4, but they need to get a win over Sydney tonight. Let's take a look at the ladder. And Laurie, the big news of the week, UC Capitals had a massive win against Bendigo last night. You called that game. It was scenes of elation from the Capitals in front of their home fans, and you can see they finally get that first win on the board this season.
Oh, it was so exciting, and I think there's so many people that were really thrilled for them because off that game too, they were decimated with injuries. There was no Bunton, there was no Smart, and so for some of those youngsters to come out and perform the way they did, and weren't their crowd excited at the end of the game, as well as their coach Kristen Veal and all the players. So congratulations to the Capitals for getting that first win.
Absolutely, you love to see it. And now as we turn our attention to this massive game in front of us tonight, as we take a look at the Adelaide starting 5, they've had so many games that they've lost under 10 points, but finally got a 25-point victory against Townsville last week, and they'll be really hungry to make it back-to-back wins tonight.
Oh, they certainly will, and they've got a strong starting lineup. You know, last week Brooke had 16 points. She shot 71% from the three-point line, so she was on fire. Monroe, 10 rebounds contributed, so a really good group. And then coming in off that bench, Abby Cabillo, I feel, has been a real positive force, positive influence when she gets subbed into the game.
Yeah, certainly has a lot of energy, the Northern Territory product. And as for Sydney, well, I think they were maybe brought back to earth a little bit last week from Perth. A disappointing loss for them after winning their previous 2 against UC. Just kind of lost a bit of momentum last week as we take a look at their starting 5.
Well, again, with their starting 5, they've got 2 players in Frawling and Heel that are both in the top 10 in scoring. Frawling is 4th with 17.7 points per game, and Heel 13 points. So they will have to have they will have to play a key component in today's game. But really, Shervin, she's coming into the starting lineup. Her and Kiara Rowe sort of flip-flop as far as who their opponents is. And the other player that I think has brought a lot of defensive energy is Manga Kahia. She's been fantastic.
Yeah, she had 5 steals last week, which was a season high, and she's number 3 in the competition for average steals with 2.2 and brought a lot of that pressure, as you mentioned, and so much hustle last week. She was fantastic. Now, Keely Frawling is a really interesting subplot to this match. She had 6 points last week against Perth, a season low. She's still 4th in the competition for average points with 17. She averaged 20 for the month of December, but was really well held last week against Perth. Perth. Do you think Adelaide would have looked at that tape and will try and recreate that same defensive effort to keep Keeling out of the game?
Well, I think, you know, their top scorers in Frawling and Heel have to be a focus point for Adelaide to try and stop them to minimize their impact on the game, because if they can do that, that'll go a long ways to securing a victory.
So Keely, prior to last week, had scored 67 points in her previous 3 games. So no doubt the Flames will want a big performance from her tonight. We're just about set to go here at the 36ers Arena in Adelaide as the Lightning taking on the Flames. And it will be the Lightning to get us underway. Of course, they're wearing their black playing uniform tonight. Almost got me confused straight from the tip-off, Laurie.
Well, that's right. Normally a dark strip is your away uniform and your light is your home. But, you know, good on Sydney for recognizing this game and the uniform change.
A couple of misses early, one from Mansfield, one from Willoughby at the other end. Here is Mansfield. Lovely pass to Munro, and she gets the scoring underway.
Just a nice finish by Munro there.
Heel gives it off to Willoughby. Now to Frawling, as we've mentioned. What a big game from her. Here's Shervin, feeds it to Frawling. She's very good in this position, but couldn't find the finish. The Lightning back down the other end. That pass is a little wayward, but they will retain possession.
It'll be interesting to see how Talbot goes against Townsville. Whilst they had a massive 25-point win, she only had 3 points. So I hope that she gets involved early in the offense.
Oh, here she is on cue. What can she produce? Her first points of the game, Laurie Chiswick. That's why you're an expert.
There you go. Great drive by Steph Talbot. And that's what she needs to do. Get her feet in the paint, then get the defense so that they're taking away penetration. Then she'll have her perimeter shot.
So a quick 4-0 lead to the Lightning here as Shervin knocks down that shot. And it is a 3. Just had 1 foot outside the arc. Here's Mansfield. Feeds it to Munro. Couldn't control it. Willoughby can take it down the floor. Passes it to Frawling. Can she get her first points? No, she's 0 from 2.
Nice aggressive move by Keeley. Just maybe didn't get her head up around and up on the target early enough.
Talbot. She's off the rim. Munga Kahia. Bright green footwear. Kicks it back out to Hill. She drives, well defended. Good start to the Lightning. Mansfield out for Talbot, wide open. But just off the rim, they get the rebound through Munro. Shot clock ticks down to 7. Mansfield, she knocks down 2 points.
Just nice steadying basket for Mansfield. Get everybody on the team involved, get it through some hands.
Frawling for Willoughby. And now to Munga Kahia. Bolay's defending.
I like the movement by Sydney early. They're really running their players off screens, sort of into pin down action and trying to get themselves open that way.
Is Shervin to Willoughby. She'll be looking to hit the scoreboard as well tonight. Heel loses it. But it will be a Flames ball.
So that's something teams have to sort of look at early. How are they defending the on-ball screen? So that time Munro jumped out in an aggressive show. And so that's up to players to read how that is being played.
Oh, good ball movement. Just couldn't finish off on that occasion, Heel. But they will maintain possession. So Lightning lead 6-2. Early stages, first term here at the 36ers Arena. Long time between drinks for Sydney. Haven't won here since 2017 against Adelaide. Willoughby to inbound. Goes to heel, drives, and again it's offline. A couple of chances gone begging for Sydney early as Mansfield down the other end, wants three and gets it.
Can't stand off Lauren Mansfield at the three-point line in a transition situation. You need to match up on her early.
Munga Kahia, she was fantastic last week, gives it to Willoughby. Kicks it back out to Munga Kahia. Works her way to the baseline, kicks it out to heel. They need to put a shot up and does for a long range two, but can't find the bottom of the net. Mansfield to Brooke, swings it across to Talbot. She now makes her move. That little pass, just a little too hot for Munro, and they've turned it over, but a good start to the Lightning.
Well, it is. I think Talbot could have done that little spin move and just turned and shot it. She needs to sometimes not facilitate as much, be a scorer herself.
Here's Munga Kahia for heel. Again, well defended. Finds Willoughby, now to Shervin. She's got some space. Again, another miss to the Flames. It's not going their way early. It's down the other end. Bola makes them pay.
So defensive transition that last time down the floor, if you can see here, instead of matching up on a player, you've just got to get straight back under the basket, protect the rim.
So we're heading to a timeout. The Lightning lead the Flames 11-2 with 5.5 on the clock. This timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. If you're considering travelling interstate with your basketball team this year, consider CTM Sport for a competitive, innovative and customised travel solution that puts your team on top. Visit ctmsport.com.au to learn more. Well, Laurie Chiswick, looks like Sydney just haven't settled so far. They're just looking a little sloppy at the offensive end.
Well, they are, and they're, you know, they're only shooting the ball one for 9 right now. But we can see on screen the assistant coach, Shelley Gorman, and this would be an important game for her as well, because she's an ambassador as well as Marina Whittle for the Queer Sporting Alliance. So it's something that they're happy to promote, they want to be involved in, and as I mentioned earlier, great initiative.
Yeah, and hopefully we see more of it in this competition. So important game for the Lightning to just keep them thereabouts in the top 4. Still mathematically a chance. And as for the Flames, they've got 3 wins on the board this season, all coming against UC. So they'll be keen to try and get a scalp here away from home.
Well, I think every team that's sort of below that top 3 or 3, I'm going to say, if you still have a mathematical chance, then you're still, you know, in with a shot, because, you know, it's unlikely, highly unlikely, but anytime there's a shot, then you want to go for it.
Shervin goes off the window. That's a nice finish, and they need more of it here. Boulays, long range 2, nails it.
It's just that D-trans, they've got to match up, they've got to talk a little bit more and be, you know, they've got to get back quickly and find their players.
Willoughby at the top of the key, bounces off the rim. Munro cleans it up. Off to Mansfield. Lovely pass inside to Boulays.
I have to say, Sydney look a little bit flat-footed right now, just in their you know, foot speed up and down the court. Yeah, they just don't seem really sharp right now, and they need to be. They can't afford to start a slow game and you know, have this sort of margin to be making up with.
Nice play there as Whittle gets her first points on the board after checking into the game. Panousis also on for the Flames now and gives it to Willoughby, trying to ignite her side to Munga Kahia. Bounce pass to Froling, works the baseline. Lovely move.
Very good, because defense did a pretty good job of cutting off that baseline, but she persevered with it.
Lightning by 9, 4 minutes to play here in the first. Boulays to Brooke, gets it back. Can't find the finish. Shervin with the rebound. Now to Munga Kahia. Back to Shervin and now to Panousis. Looking for Froling, gives it to her. Back out to Willoughby. Puts the shot up and gets it to drop.
Really good execution of that play. Some good screens, a down screen. Froling got the ball down low, was patient with it, waiting for Willoughby to come off a couple of screens.
Willoughby goes herself. She loses it, but gets the call. So take another look at it. Shervin's looking around going, what did I do? So Whittle heads to the line, 76% free throw shooter this season. That one rattles out.
Whittle is another player that has such an impact coming in off the bench. She's a strong player. She's physical. She's averaging just over 9 points a game.
Here's Panousis to Munga Kahia. Back to Panousis. Haven't really found any real flow so far, Sydney. It's Clark to Munga Kahia. Pops it over the top to Froling. Well defended. Just puts her off her shot. Mansfield to Whittle, charging down the other end. Gets the two and will head to the line.
And that's the strength I was talking about with Marina Whittle. She just uses her body well just to go up strongly.
So a few danger signs early for the Flames. 3 minutes to go in the first, down by 10, and a free throw to come for Whittle.
Adelaide would be feeling really confident in their game and their game plan, having beaten Townsville so soundly. And you know, Townsville's in that top four, so that was a really good win for them.
Yeah, their first win over a top four side this season, and some of their losses, they played some quality opposition in their past five. They've lost twice to Melbourne and twice to Bendigo as well. So a number of losses this season by under 10 points. So certainly been in many more games than they've won. Here's Willoughby from the corner.
Sydney are actually getting really good looks out of their offense. They're just not dropping right now.
Froling hits the deck.
It's a foul on Munro, trying to just establish that position in the point of the rim.
So Flames ball here, less than 3 on the clock in the first term. And now trail by 11. So a good start to the home side. Panousis works it to Heel. Now to Clark. Back to Panousis. Thought about the three. Now goes to Froling instead. Working on Munro. Oh, try to find Clark, but Whittle got a hand in there. It's gone out of play. And
great play, though, by Marina Whittle, recognizing that as it was going out, she just knocked it off a Sydney player. So now it's the Lightning's ball.
That's experience right there, isn't it? So here's Cabillo. Been a great off-the-bench player for the Lightning. He almost coughed it up. Here's Munro. Lings back for the two, and it just rattles out. Clark with the rebound off to Panousis. Can they punish him down at the other end? Froling draws some contact. Looks like she'll head off. Take another look at it. Oh, a bit of a head clash there.
Hope she's okay.
Yeah, might have just been split open there above the eye. Keely Froling. So she will get some attention and treatment on the bench. Hopefully they can get her back out soon. Certainly needs some scoring power. What can Shervin manufacture? Gives it to Heel. Now to Clark. Sets herself for the three. They needed that, the Flames.
They did, and that never looked like missing as it left her hand.
Margin 8 points. Boulays puts a shot up. Adds a couple more to her tally.
You can just hear Shane Hill saying, stay on your feet, don't jump.
Panousis for Shervin, and now Heel working on Cabillo. Off to Clark. Pass inside, finds Shervin, and she's also drawn some contact.
That's a better pass inside. I think there's been a few passes for both teams where they've looked inside, but they just haven't been able to execute the pass. And sometimes you need to take a little bit of a dribble towards the baseline to get a better angle, either get it up in the air so they can reach it, but there's been a few passes inside that have gone astray.
So margin again's blown out to 10. Important free throw for Shervin. She nails the first. And 2 from 2. A minute left in the opening quarter. Lightning off to a brilliant start. Cabillo. Looking for options. Now out to Badish. To Mansfield, back to Badish. She's wide open for the three. Just falls a little short. They get the rebound. Whittle to Mansfield. She goes for the three. Also offline. Now Clark wrestles with it and comes up with it for the Flames. Off to Panousis. Now to Shervin. And they get some late scores on the board. Allen.
Nice pass.
Nice pass to Shervin. Couldn't finish. Gets the rebound and eventually gets the two. Had to work hard for that.
Just wanted to get an O-board stat there, and good finish eventually.
Badish for Cabillo. Ticking down towards quarter time. Last play of the quarter. What will she do here? Will go herself. Lovely shot from Cabillo. And that marks quarter time here at the 36ers Arena. The home side have gotten off to a flyer. The Lightning 23 leading the Flames 15. Laurie Chiswick, you think the Flames will be a little bit disappointed heading into the quarter time break, but to Lightning's credit, they really came out focused and got scores on the board early.
Well, it's not that Sydney are taking that many bad shots. They're only shooting 29%, but some of the shots out of their offense have been really good takes. So hopefully for them, those shots will start dropping in the next quarter. But Adelaide, wow, they've looked to push the ball. They've got some good transition baskets, and they're getting contributors from lots of different people. So Boulays has 6 points. Mansfield had 5, and we know we can see Keely Frawling. Oh
yeah, that is a big cut, isn't
it? A gash there. Hopefully she'll be able to return to the game because she is their leading scorer and their leading rebounder.
Yeah, certainly do. And as we mentioned off the top, Froling was kept to a season low 6 points last week. So they certainly need a big performance from her. She's been so dominant for her side. As we take a look at some of the key quarter time stats, those field goal percentages really standing out there, Laurie.
Well, that's exactly right. And just the fact that 33% for the Flames versus 56% for Adelaide. They've both taken the same amount of shots, but you can see what's fallen and what hasn't fallen. So that's okay. Sydney will... I'm sure Shane Hill will be talking about the type of shots they're taking and to keep taking them, keep shooting with confidence. They've got some real natural shooters out there in Shyla, obviously, and Munga Kahia. Willoughby can get her feet in the paint. So, you know, certainly they just need to come out strongly at the start of this second quarter to make sure that gap doesn't blow out at all.
Without Froling, she's obviously receiving some treatment on the bench. Who can step up for Sydney? We've seen Shervin, who was in the starting 5. She's leading the scoring with 8. Heel's yet to find any points for the game. Is there anybody that you would look to try and step up here for the Flames?
Well, Emma Clark's had some good minutes in recent games. I think she's really rock solid. But we can see that number 10, Kara, rose into the game, and she started a lot of games. So she's experienced. So she's a good player that can certainly come in and play some valuable minutes.
So it's all Adelaide in that first quarter. They lead by 7 points. An important game for Adelaide. Not only is it their first ever Pride game, but they need to get the win to keep themselves in contention for the top 4. The Flames through Munga Kahia get us underway in the second term to Heel. Now to Rowe. Passes in to Shervin. Again, couldn't find the finish. Kicks it back out to Munga Kahia, to Allen, back to Shervin. Shot clock's ticking down. Munga Kahia needs to take a shot. Goes for the 3. Falls just short.
I think, Jess, when you were mentioning that this is a really important game for Adelaide, yes, it is, but equally it's as important for Sydney. Sydney still are, you know, they've both got 8 losses right now, so, you know, they're still, they like to think of themselves still within a shot.
It's Munga Kahia. They need to start finding some buckets. Shervin, that'll help.
I like how their focus has been going inside to Shervin. She's done a good job.
Boula's down the other end. Finds Whittle, who finishes. Lovely play.
Again, I can't stress enough D-trans and matching up and talking. It's one thing about being back, but you've got to be back, you've got to be ready, you've got to be talking, pointing. And that was just too easy for Marina Whittle streaming through the middle of the key. Margins
10. There's Rowe. Makes a charge. Shervin cleans it up. Again, misses. There's a whistle on play. Get another look at it on the replay. So Shervin will head to the line. Just a 52% free throw shooter this season. Oh, she did make her first two. 2 from 2 earlier in that first quarter.
3 from 3 now.
Can't find the second one as Brooke gives it to Mansfield. Now back to Brooke. And here's Cabillo as the C's part for her. You mentioned that D-trans.
Well, just a little hesitation dribble by Cabillo. She really read the defender, got them standing up a little bit with that hesitation, and then exploded to the basket.
As Cabillo goes to ground. And it'll be a turnover, so 11 points the margin now to the Lightning.
One thing I noticed from their great win against Townsville, Adelaide, is they had 5 turnovers for the whole game. That was phenomenal to go along with 27 assists. A real great team game and took care of the ball, real possession game.
See as Mansfield leans back on the 2. Falls just short, but good work to regain possession. Just as I say that, they've turned it over. Is Willoughby down the other end. What can she manufacture? It's another miss to the Flames. They just haven't found their range so far tonight. Here's Simons down the other end for Mansfield. Working on heel. Out to Brooke for a 3. It's a little offline. Rowe to Heel.
Hill is yet to score this game.
Here's Willoughby, puts the shot up. And again, if can't find the finish. They are their own worst enemy at the moment, the Flames. Cabillo. Simons. And now Whittle. Tough shot. She makes it count.
she looked very comfortable in that shot. She just got the ball, looked very casual with it, but tough shot to make.
So the Lightning now lead by 13. Munga Kahia down the other end. They need big threes, and Munga Kahia delivers.
They needed that shot to go down, to drop. One for her confidence, but for the team as well.
Whittle gives it to Simons. Back to Whittle. Now swings it across to Mansfield, to Brooke, working on Willoughby. She's lost it. She gets back to her feet. So you see this shot from Munga Kahia. That'll lift her confidence as well.
Munga Kahia shoots the 3 ball at 37%.
Brooke to Whittle. Now Boulays. Lovely shot. Just rising in confidence every time she takes to the floor.
So equally, Adelaide just, look how many players are back, and she's just able to just drive into the key. One thing I'd say about both teams, which whilst they're executing their offenses and trying to get each other open, I don't feel like they're really setting good, solid screens and coming off of them. Having said that, to me, Willoughby, if you watch her at the offensive end, she really headhunts players and sets a good, solid screen. And that's what you have to do. If you've got an offense that's designed with screens, you've got to make sure that they're set well and they're used well.
So Munga Kahia, 2 from 2. She's a good free throw shooter, and the Flames certainly needed that. So margin back to 10 as a travel is called.
I think Boulays was of 2 minds whether she was going to shoot it or penetrate.
So 5.5 to play here in the first half. And the Lightning have shot out of the blocks and have kept the Flames at arm's length. And they need to find some momentum and generate it at the offensive end. And Heel loses it, but regains. Now to Munga Kahia with the turn on Simons. Can't find the finish. Munro cleans it up. Off to Cabillo. She drives, draws contact. She's off to the line.
I'm interested in the fact that Steph Talbot has only played 5 minutes so far. She's not in foul trouble. She doesn't have any fouls. And she's sitting on the bench.
Very interesting. Keep an eye on that as Cabillo makes the first attempt. Perhaps wanting to get some minutes into some of the bench players, Laurie, do you think? Or maybe managing Steph's time?
No, I wouldn't think so. I not in a game like this that's important, that, you know, that now's not the time to think about getting, you know, minutes, especially at this stage of the game, second quarter. You know, you do that if it's a blowout at the end of a game, or if you've got injuries or foul trouble. But I mean, maybe she's carrying an injury that we don't know about.
So margin at 11. Cabillo to Munro. Now to Boulays. Simons pops it over the top to Munro. Gets a good look. That's a great shot.
Well, it is, and she has a mismatch with Kara Rowe. Not much Rowe could do. She's just got that size advantage, so was able to shoot over top of her.
Munga Kahia wants the 3. Bounces off the rim. So if you just joined us, Keely Froling is on the bench for Sydney. She came off in the first quarter. Got a nasty gash to the face. So they are without one of their most prolific shooters, the Flames, for the time being. We hope to see her out on court soon. It's Heel inbounds to Clark, working on Boulays. It's offline. Brooke cleans it up. Off to Boulays, back to Brooke. pass inside to Munro. That one falls short. They win the rebound. Brooke again looking for Munro, but they turned it over. Here's a chance for the Flames. Munga Kahia streaming down the other end, steps back on the three. Another miss.
Not sure that's the best shot selection by Munga Kahia. Twice down the floor, just dribbles it up to shoot it. And then the response is a three from Simons. You just have to get a feel of where you're at within this game and what's a good shot and what needs to get through some hands. You'll probably have that shot after you've made Adelaide play 20 seconds of defense.
As we head to a timeout with 3:43 on the clock in the second. This timeout is brought to you by Cygnett. To stay connected with the latest WNBL news and social highlights and keep your favourite tech charged up at home or on the go with Cygnett's extensive range of charging products and digital accessories. Once again, a big thank you to Cygnett for powering the WNBL with high quality tech this season. Explore their range at cygnett.com. Jess Webster and Laurie Chiswick with you at the 36ers arena. The Lightning 39, leading the Flames 23. What can the Flames do you think, Laurie, just to try and generate some kind of momentum? They just haven't really been in the contest so far.
Well, they just...
Apart from making their shots count, they've been their own worst enemy at times.
Yeah, I think there just seems to be a little bit of flatness and lack of energy. You know, I think with Keely Frawling going out, that's probably played a part in it. But they just need to find that, you know, generally defensively, I really like what Shane Heal's teams do, and they are usually up and in and disruptive. But Lightning have 39 points already, and there's almost still 4 minutes to go. So I think to get themselves in the game, it's got to start at the defensive end. Get some pressure, get some deflections, get some steals, whatever it is. But be more active defensively, and that's where the energy will come from.
Yeah, it probably definitely is I mean, you compare it to last week against Perth, and even though they lost defensively, they were really great, and Munga Kahia in particular was fighting for everything. They just probably haven't got that energy tonight, as looks like an offensive foul is called. And that's certainly not going to help.
Well, I think that's Shervin's third foul, which could be really critical given that Frawling's not around right now. We just see her going to the bench, but whether she'll be able to play or not remains to be seen.
Shervin's their leading scorer with 11 on the board so far. Cabillo gives it to Borlase, wide open for the three, and when you're in the form that Borlase is in, you cannot leave her wide open.
Well, no, there was just miscommunication between the top. I'm not sure whether they were in a zone or not, or who had who, but she was left wide open. And, you know, the way she's playing, the way she's shooting the ball, you can't do that.
She's up to 13 points tonight. He's the young gun from the Lightning.
Badly herself.
New Married at First Sight, Monday, Jan 30 on 9.
Gossip Girl here, your one and only source into the scandalous lives of Manhattan's elite. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Get your summer streaming on 9 now.
Do not underestimate the power of a good blind. Take this exhausted couch. Now it stands before you. Magnifique. Even this cocktail of dead skin is gracefully waltzing. Da 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 da. DIY blinds. Change the ugly.
For 2 decades, 3 kings have ruled Melbourne.
True legends of the sport.
This summer, it's anyone's. Get ready
Expect the unexpected.
for the Open that's wide open.
Oh, incredible stuff.
The greatest epic ever starts Monday live and free on 9 and 9 Now. It's the biggest WNBL season yet, and superstar Lauren Jackson returns. Turn it up. Don't miss a block, basket, or game winner.
Just not steal the win.
WNBL live on 9 Now.
Hi Hoopers, I'm Tess Madgen. I'm so excited to be offering virtual masterclasses this school holidays with She Hoops. Starting on the 9th of January at 5:30 p.m. every Monday night. In this 5-week series, we will be delivering a range of basketball skills. I will also take you through a number of mobility skills designed to keep your body active and engaged. And the best part is that it's free. Go to shehoops.com.au to register now and secure your spot.
Expect the unexpected.
It's summer's greatest show.
Best point of the match.
And he is the greatest showman.
Top shelf from Kyrgios. What an athlete. What a play. Just electric.
King Nick leads the Aussie assault.
This one is for country.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats.
Australia, it's time for a brand new day.
2023 is the start of a new era, but some things won't change a bit.
We still have the best news team in the business.
In breaking news this morning,
Heated debate is firing up.
The emotion from this man.
and you'll still wake up with Australia's best breakfast.
2023, a very big year. Don't forget, 5:30 sharp.
No worries.
So the Today Show with Sarah and that's my chair.
We're shaking things up, Carl.
Wake up to a brand new day. Monday on 9.
Looking for something to keep the kids entertained these school holidays?
Listen to the roar of that crowd.
Come and watch Australia's elite female basketballers in action as they battle it out for championship glory in the Cygnett WNBL.
Good. That's a good shot.
Tickets available now. To book your seat, visit WNBL.basketbol.
The great champion. He's a rare phenomenon.
Who is the greatest tennis player of all time?
Federer or Nadal?
I wonder what the 100 thinks.
You have Australia's support.
So baby, in 90 days, we're gonna be husband and wife.
I was with her for 5 days, and then I proposed to her.
She's so eager to be in love, she lets red flags just go.
People say 19-year-old, she's just using you. Maybe she could be.
90 Day Fiancé. Get your summer streaming on 9 Now.
So that's an area I'm sure that they'll have talked about at halftime.
Yeah, plenty of work to do for the visitors at the main break. If you've just joined us, Keely Froling has received some treatment in the first half. She has only played 8 minutes of game time for 2 points. Hopefully we'll see her in the second half. And Shyla Heal is stuck on 0 points at halftime. So take a look at some of the first half highlights from Marina Whittle, who has driven the initiative for Adelaide's Pride game this week, Laurie, and she's having a big impact.
She is. She's currently at 13 points and 4 rebounds, but it's how she's doing it. She makes everything look really easy. Just this pull up here against Willoughby, just turns and casually shoots the ball. This drive here again just pulls up. Just everything she's doing is with a lot of poise, a lot of conviction, and she looks really good and is shooting the ball at a really high percentage.
She's certainly playing her role tonight, as is Borlase as well, up to 13 points.
And you can see on vision there, Steph Talbot has her warm-up top on, and she's only played 5 minutes for 2 points, and we understand that she might have just a little niggling injury, and because they have a double weekend, they play another game this weekend. She's just sitting out this game as a precautionary reason, and she, to be honest, she doesn't need to be on the floor right now.
And they take on Bendigo in their next match this weekend as well, a massive game for Adelaide, so perhaps just putting her on ice in this second half. So we don't think we'll see a lot of Steph Talbot in this second half, as we see Keely Froling back onto the court for the Flames with the headband on. She copped a bit of a gash to the head, but great to see her on for the Flames.
Well, it'll be really settling for the team that she's on. It'll be interesting to see how she goes and how she plays, and she obviously didn't get any concussion or we wouldn't be seeing her, but she did have a pretty big gash, so they must have taking care of that. And it's a real fashion statement, isn't it?
Yeah, she's patched up and ready to go, having a bit of a laugh there on the right of your screen. So what can she produce in the second half? The Flames have just looked a bit flat, and they just haven't generated any kind of momentum, and really their own worst enemy at the offensive end. So they will need to start this third quarter with a bit of energy.
Well, the one thing I can say, they've done a good job. They've taken care of the ball. They only had 4 turnovers for that whole half. So you can see now Mungaka here up and defensively, and that's what they need to do. That's where their energy needs to be generated from.
So a 17-point advantage to the Lightning is a lovely pass to Munro, gets their scoring underway in the second half.
Well, again, that's just their on-ball rules. A nice, strong roll to the basket by Munro, but too easy from the Sydney Flames.
Here's Willoughby looking for Froling. Pass not quite accurate. Shervin, though, picks it up. Gives it to Heal. Yet to find any points. She gives it to Froling. Wide open for the 3. Would have been a great start to the Flames. But again, it's off the mark.
And you can see how Adelaide continue to defend Shyla Heal. Anytime she comes out on an on-ball screen, they're really doubling her and trying to get the ball out of her hands. But nice finish by Marina Whittle.
Adds another 2, and that margin now out to a new game high, 21 points. Here's Froling, receives from Willoughby and now gives it to Mungaka here. Sank a couple of big 3-pointers in that first half. I want some more from her. Here's Froling working her way to the baskets. Just a little offline. And now Borlase for the Lightning. Now a good hand in there from Froling, but Brooke comes up with it, then puts the shot up for 2. So all the scoring so far in this third term going the way of the Lightning. Heal out to Froling. Mungaka here. Willoughby in the corner for 3. That'll hopefully ignite the Flames.
Well, they need igniting, that's for sure. And Willoughby's somebody that can bring that to this team. She, to me, with Shervin in the first half, were the 2 that were the focal point. And if they can continue, but plus have a bit more contribution from, say, Mungaka here and certainly Shyla Heal at the offensive end, at both ends, really, they need that.
So here's Mansfield. And they might have turned it over. No, it's come off a Flames hand. So it will be a Lightning ball. Willoughby's asking the question. Mansfield to inbound. Margin out to 20. Over the top to Munro. Now back out to Mansfield. Shot clock down to 2. She puts up the shot and sinks it.
It's great to see Mansfield, and she's got 11 points right now, but she's often a facilitator. She's 6th in the competition for assists, averaging 5, just over 5 a game. So it's good to see her have that combination of getting her teammates involved, but at the same time scoring herself.
Willoughby misses the 3 from the Shauna corner. Brooke down the other end. She also misses. Willoughby comes up with it. Charging down the other end. Gives it to Munga Kahia. Oh, she's lost it. Picked up by Rowe to Heel to get her scoring underway tonight. She's missed. Mansfield to Borlase, and they share it around. Back to Mansfield. Working on Willoughby. Now kicks it out to Whittle. She's off the rim. Willoughby cleans it up. Goes herself down the other end. Gets the 2 and 1.
I didn't think that was that bad defense against Mansfield, but just the strength and the athleticism of Willoughby going hard to the basket, straight up, was able to finish, absorb that contact, and finds herself at the line now. Great job, Willoughby.
4 from 4 tonight. Jocelyn Willoughby from the line. Maintains the perfect score.
And that's one area the Flames, they shot 9 for 10 at halftime. So, you know, get themselves to the foul line, keep pushing it inside, try and get to the rack, draw the fouls.
They need to apply the pressure at the defensive end as well. Here's Borlase trying to get around Willoughby. Put her off her game. Did well in the end, Willoughby. Gets the rebound as well. So 6 minutes to go here in the third. Willoughby puts up the 2. Although I think it might be an offensive foul, is it?
Well, that's a call.
What do we think, Laurie?
Well, actually, Borlase did a good job of getting her body across in front. I didn't think she was initially, you know, and how hard is that? Even seeing the slow motion play, the replay, it's hard to tell, and the referees have to make a split-second decision, but I think it was the right one.
Mansfield to Munro, working on Froling. And she's going to head to the line.
Well, Munro doesn't shoot threes, so it's good to see her mixing it up, ripping it from that elbow, putting it to the floor so that she's got that component of her game, get herself to the foul line.
Had a great season, Munro, for the Lightning this year in the top 10 for rebounds. Has shot 20 points or more on 3 occasions. As you mentioned before, #1 in the competition for field goal percentage. 65% at the free throw line. It's a lovely finish, so margin back out to 20. It was 17 at halftime. Sydney haven't made any inroads on this deficit. Willoughby's 3-point attempt is off the mark.
See, that's to me, that's a poor shot selection. You shoot it, then you're back playing defense straight away. You haven't made the Lightning play any defense whatsoever, and you're not shooting the ball particularly well.
This time she gives it to Heel, who opens her scoring with a big 3.
Finally, Shyla Heel on the scoreboard. Maybe that'll open the floodgates for her.
She's defending Mansfield now. Gives it to Munro. They've turned it over, so a good bit of play here for the Flames.
I'll be interested to see if that's an unsportsmanlike call. There's Shyla Heel's 3 before that, but because they were in a fast break situation and there were no defenders in front, that can be seen as an unsportsmanlike foul, and that's what the call is.
So the margin's back to where it was at halftime. 17 points the way of the Lightning. It's Willoughby, the right person to be at the free throw line at the moment.
So an unsportsmanlike foul, you get 2 foul shots and then possession at the side.
Willoughby makes them count. So we're sensing a bit of a shift here, Laurie. The Flames have got a bit of momentum their way. They need to hit some big shots. Rowe inbounds to Heel. Got her scoring underway with a big 3. Now to Willoughby, who's been pretty good tonight. She drives, she's lost it though.
You can see her mentality though is to, you know, within the context of this, of their play phase, to get it to the basket strongly.
So a Flames ball, margin back to 15. And they're at the right end. Here's Mangakahia wide open for a 3. She can't capitalise, but Heel doing the work. Wins the rebound, gives it to Rowe, and she finishes.
Really
13
nice.
points the difference.
Slash to the basket, Kiera Rowe, just not giving up on the play. Now you can see them on defense, pointing, talking. There just seems to be a little bit more energy.
This is what we wanted to see from the Flames. Down by 17 at halftime. Back to within 13. Less than 5 minutes here in the third as Bola finds some space, but she's been called for a travel.
Great opportunity for Sydney now to come back and capitalize on that turnover by Bola. That's the stop that they wanted.
Here's Willoughby. She gets some contact. Flames ball. Let's take another look. So the Flames suddenly showing a bit of energy, a bit of hustle. Heel tries to find Froling, and she gets the foul call.
Froling got herself open because Rowe set a really tough screen, and Kelly used that screen. And so it was a really nice then angled pass from Shyla, and that's what they need to do. If they're going to keep making inroads into this deficit, they're going to have to work together by setting really hard screens, setting their man up, coming off of it hard. But they've got to do it together.
In this run from the Flames is caused a timeout. This timeout is brought to you by DIY Blinds. To fit out your home with Australian-made designer quality window furnishings at the best prices, head to DIYblinds.com.au to order your free samples today. So, Sydney, they've lifted here in the third, Laurie. It's good to see.
Well, it's great. You know, they certainly have lifted, and I think the Lightning need to be a little bit careful. They can't be complacent. They can't just go, well, you know, it's a 17-point margin at halftime. Oh, it's down to 13 now. They've got to make sure that they go out and take control of this game. That's how you beat good teams. That's how you have to come out with that same mentality, regardless of who your opponent is, regardless of the scoreline. And we saw an example of that when Southside scored 118 points. They could have at one point, you know, taken their foot off the pedal and just sort of cruised it, but they kept playing with high intensity that whole game, and that's what great teams do, and that's what you know, somebody like Adelaide need to do when a team like Sydney is coming back at them.
Yeah, certainly in this competition, if you don't play a full 4 quarters, you can be exposed. So a good run of play here from the Flames. 4.5 on the clock in the third quarter as Froling goes to the line. She misses the first. But gets the second, margin back to 12.
And that's certainly gettable. I mean, there's lots of time in this quarter, and if they can get that, you know, under the 10 mark by 3/4 times, which it looks like they might, we're in for a ball game in the fourth quarter.
So here's Mansfield looking to respond at the other end. She gives it to Brooke. A little off the mark on the three-point attempt. Flames quickly down the other end. Munga Kahia goes herself off the window.
Good decision by Munga Kahia just to keep it in her possession and attack the opposition.
10 points the difference. Brooke to Mansfield. And good defense from the Flames as Willoughby tries to rip it out of her hands. So good bit of hustle shown here from the Flames, the defensive end.
Well, it is, and that's what has kept Sydney in games in the past, and that's how they got their wins over Canberra. You know, they're not a prolific scoring team. They average 72 points, which is 8th in the competition, but their defense can keep them in games.
Here's Heel. She's off the mark. Would have been a handy bucket for the Flames with 3.5 left to play in the third. Brooke to Mansfield. Margin cut back to 10. Here's Bola. Gone a bit quiet since the first quarter. Gives it off to Brooke for 3. That hurts the Flames.
Well, finally she got that 3 after shooting the lights out against Townsville. 16 points at 71% the 3-point. They've been going missing this game, but that'll help her confidence in that 3-point range.
Heel calling the shots. Gives it off to Rose, sets herself for the triple and knocks it down.
Shyla did a good job because, as we've said before, every time she comes off an on ball, they are doubling her, they are staying with her. So she did a good job of finding her teammate in row.
Here's Heel. Lovely pass, finds Rowe, can't capitalize.
That was a real gettable basket. Rowe will be disappointed with that, but they're doing all the right things right now, Sydney.
Munro, and I think has turned it over.
3 seconds in the key. Keely Frawling was so smart there. Munro, when she caught the ball, had contact with Keely. Keely backed off, took a step away. Now she can't use her body to spin on her, and that sort of confused her. And as she turned around, she was just making those decisions. She got called for 3 in the key.
So they're getting good opportunities here in the third quarter, the visitors. 2 minutes to go in the third. Margin cut back to 10 after it was 17 at halftime. Heel to Willoughby from the top of the arc.
Yes, yes. Little high horns action. Shyla coming off.
Munro to Cabillo. All of a sudden, the pressure on the Lightning to respond. Off to Whittle. But they've lost it. Flames back the other way. Heel swings it across to Clark. She's in the corner. She pulls the trigger.
Little jab step, had her foot across the 2-point line, but pulled it back and nailed that 3 from the corner.
Big shot, and the margin's back to 4. 1.5 minutes to play in the third. Mansfield to Cabillo. Willoughby defending. Willoughby puts up the shot for 2. It's just offline. Willoughby. And it's off Brooks, so Willoughby asking the question. But they do have possession with 1 minute to play. It's been a fantastic quarter from Sydney. Willoughby goes herself and adds 2 more.
Same horns action, this time with the ball in Willoughby's hands. She just rounded that corner straight to the rack.
Here's Brooke for Cabillo.
You can see Shane Heel on the sideline shouting instructions where players are, how to match up.
That shot's offline from Whittle, so another opportunity to the Flames. Munga Kahia, the margin's 2 points. She goes to ground. But it dribbles to Clark, who sinks another 3-pointer, and they're in front, the Flames, for the first time tonight.
Oh my goodness, is that 3 threes in a row? 3 times down the floor. Wow.
They have turned it around in a big way, Sydney, in this third quarter. as Brooke hits the rim. Time's run out. And we head to three-quarter time, and we have a game on our hands. Laurie Chiswick. Sydney came out with a point to prove in the third quarter.
Well, they certainly did. Give them full credit. They were down by 17 points and have come back, and I just feel it's a combination of how they're playing, but Adelaide just really lost their way and what they were trying to do and how they had gotten their 49 points to begin with. But it was all Sydney, and they did it in a combination of attacking the rim and shooting some brilliant three-point shots as a team. That was Brooke's one and only three-point shot. Right now, she's 1 from 6 from the three-point line. So they're going to have to find different ways of scoring. But Adelaide have to get back on track because Sydney will just keep going.
30 points to 12 in that third quarter from the Sydney Flames as they hit the lead for the first time, 62-61 at three-quarter time. And they've really turned this match on its head as we take a look at some of the key stats to three-quarter time.
Well, all of a sudden, look at the Sydney Flames three-point shooting percentage. It's just rocketed up to 41%, and that's the difference in that quarter. They just went on a scoring spree, and Adelaide just couldn't figure out a way to stop them and then at least put some scoreboard pressure on them on the other end. So full credit to the Flames, and now it is anybody's ball game leading into this fourth quarter.
Emma Clark 3 from 3, if you don't mind, in that third quarter from the three-point line. So all of a sudden, questions being asked of Adelaide in this final quarter. I guess at halftime we just didn't see this coming, Laurie Chiswick. The Lightning were just all over the Flames. They looked flat. They didn't look like they had any energy. And then credit to them, they've really turned it around in this third quarter, and we've got a ball game.
Well, I think they turned it around by putting some great defensive pressure on. You could just see when they came out to begin with. Munga Kahir was up and in. Shyla was in. Willoughby, I think, has been playing good defense the whole game. And Adelaide, I'm not sure if it was complacent or just lost their way, but they couldn't handle that pressure. And they took some uncharacteristic early shots that probably they needed to get through hands a little bit more and you know, test the defense of Sydney, because up till halftime, the defense of Sydney hadn't been that great. So wow, the tables turned in that quarter.
And we mentioned earlier, Steph Talbot, she's only played 5 minutes of game time, carrying a bit of a niggly injury, as we see her just to the left of screen, and resting her. They've got another big game against Bendigo to come this round, but do you think we'll see her, or is she done for the game? It's getting a bit nervous now.
You can't put her in now at this stage. She would have cooled down and that, but I mean, I'm sure they were thinking at one stage that the game's well and truly in control. It's a good opportunity, and you do that as a coach and as a player. You know, if you don't need to play somebody that's got a niggle, you don't. But now you go, wow, it's I wish she could be playing, I'm sure Nathurst is thinking in her mind. But Adelaide just need to steady. You know, they need to take the pressure that the Sydney put on and apply it themselves as well.
So here we go, final quarter underway. The Flames by a point as Munro puts up a shot and misses. Munga Kahia takes it down the other end for Heel. To Frolling, to Munga Kahia. She drives a lovely pass, finds Frolling. That's a great way to, or Clark, in fact, that's a great way to get the last term underway.
All they are, they're connecting so well. They know where each other's going. Shyla set a nice little brush screen in that play.
Here's Mansfield open for the three. Now gives it off to Munro.
I think this matchup zone's giving them a bit of trouble. So they look like they're matched up, and as players move, if they can hand it off to somebody, then they hand them off, and there's a lot of communication with Sydney right now.
Cabillo to inbound for the Lightning. To Munro, now to Whittle. Puts up a shot. A deep two, it's off the mark. Clark with a rebound. To Munga Kahia. Heel, Willoughby. She's been fantastic tonight. Now to Froling. Shot clock down to 5. Heel to Mungaka here. Now to Froling, needs to put a shot up and makes it count.
Such great execution by the Flames. They knew where to go, where to swing the ball. The end result was always going to be to get it into Froling. And she didn't disappoint with a great finish.
Here's Mansfield. Pass to Munro. She gets the 2 and 1 to come.
I think this really was a pass.
I was just thinking that. I think it's a deflection. I didn't want to say that, but having a look on the replay.
I think that was a shot that got deflected and fell in Munro's hand, but they'll take it whatever way they can get it.
Absolutely, and Munro's off to the line as well. The side trails by 3. Heel for the Flames. Oh no, he's turned it over. As they fight for a great hustle from both sides. Whittle's on the bottom of the pack. They all dive on top of it.
It's desperation by both sides. Good active hands by Adelaide just to get a piece of that and force this possession arrow, which will go to Sydney.
So the intensity is lifting here in this contest. Willoughby gets a good look for 3, but it's off the rim.
She set another really good screen in that out of bounds play. I'm impressed with the way she heads hunts those screens.
Mansfield, she's offline. Mungaka here comes up with it. And then loses it, goes to ground. Whittle's also involved. So we're heading to a timeout here, 7 or less than 8 minutes to go in the final quarter. This timeout is brought to you by Aussie Hoops. The Aussie Hoops program had its biggest year to date last year with over 42,000 participants registering to a local Aussie Hoops centre. Aussie Hoops is the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10. Whether your little one is a seasoned basketball fan or just wanting to get out there and give it a go, they'll have an absolute ball of a time. So register now to kickstart their basketball journey. What do you think the key messages will be in each other's huddle? Laurie Chiswick.
Well, Adelaide just need to study. They need to take a breath. They need to continue. They need to pick up again. We talked about Sydney and increasing their defensive intensity, and it certainly worked for them. And the Lightning need to do the same. They need to get Sydney out a little bit of rhythm and hopefully get some energy themselves. But and they need to start now. Right now, all the momentum you feel is with Sydney.
So it was Adelaide by 8 at quarter time, by 17 at half time, until the Flames turned things around in a big way in that third quarter. They scored 30 points to 12 to take a 1-point lead into the final change. Now their lead is 2 points.
Can we say they caught fire?
We can say that. Absolutely. Now back in a big way, the Flames. Is there one more twist in the tail to come? Here's Willoughby. Out to Clark, she's wide open for the 3. Can it be 4 from 4? No, she misses. Munro cleans it up and gives it off to Mansfield. Back to Munro. And now to Whittle. Puts the shot up. Gets the 2.
Again, Marina Whittle, she's not necessarily really super dynamic coming off of this, but she's so composed, and that pull-up was, you know, she's got a lovely shot there, and she's doing everything with such confidence out there.
76% at the line so far this season is Marina Whittle. She makes it a 3-point play, and the Lightning are back in front. 15 points for Whittle now. Another lead change as Willoughby goes herself. Can't find the finish. But they fight for it. It comes up to Whittle. Can take it down the other end. Looking for Borlase. Now they're patient with it as Mansfield puts the shot up. It's short, gets her own rebound, misses again. Froling in a wrestle against Whittle. Game's really lifting now. These two sides desperate for victory tonight.
Well, all of a sudden there's this immense passion on both team sides, energy, fighting for it. This is such an important game for both of these teams.
Crowd getting involved as well here at the 36ers arena. Borlase has lost it. Flames ball.
This is a real crucial part of this game right now. You have to really stick to your defensive rules. You have to talk. You have to know exactly whether you're going to switch, whether you're going to go under, over. Whatever you do on an on-ball, you've got to be really on point with how you defend.
His heel kicks it out to Froling for three. She's offline. Whittle. Lovely pass in board for Mansfield. He can't find the finish either. Now Willoughby has an opportunity. Can't make it count, gets it back. Froling screaming for it. She eventually gives it to her. She can't find the finish.
Oh dear.
Borlase down the other end. What can she manufacture? Leans back and gets the two. Some nervous moments from both these sides here. Less than 6 minutes to play in the fourth. It's the Lightning by 3. Heel looking for Froling. She wrestles for it. Is that a jump ball call? Let's take another look. Well, here's the shot from Borlase at the other end a couple of moments ago.
Just a little step back, thank you very much.
So classy. So Flames ball, Willoughby. She goes for it, a deep two.
Oh, yes.
Makes it count.
21 points for Willoughby. She is keeping the Flames alight.
A hand in there from Panusis, so be a Lightning ball out of play. Lovely execution from Willoughby. 1 point the margin. Lightning ball. Here's Munro. Swings it across to Mansfield. Back to Munro, now back to Mansfield. Good pressure from Froling and she comes up with it.
Thinking of trying to get into Munro, but just not a good pass.
Panusis for Allen. And now Heel. Looking to create something for the Flames. Back to Panusis. Shot clock down to 5. Now Heel. Now to Clark in the corner. The right woman for the job.
I think we should put her name in that corner. That's exactly where she's been shooting in the third quarter.
Her fourth three-pointer of the night. Making her moments count. Here's Whittle. Makes a drive. And she draws some contact.
Just decided not to use the screen. Went to her left.
I think it's 3 lead changes in this fourth quarter.
Adelaide have been to the line 10 times. They're 7 from 10 right now compared to the Flames, who have been to the line 13 out of 15 times. Foul shots can win or lose games when it's so close like this.
Nervous moment from Marina Whittle.
She's close to a double-double. She's got 18 points, 8 rebounds right now. Make that 19 points.
Margin 1 point the way of the Flames. Less than 5 minutes to play in this contest. Here's Allen. Back to Panousis. Pass inside to Froling. Gets 2 and 1 to come.
She likes that, and then it did a good job. They recognized that they are switching on everything. So she had Mansfield on her, and she just backed her down. Was not going to miss that shot. And wow, wasn't she pumped?
Seven points tonight for Froling. And misses that attempt. It is 3 points the way the Flames here. Here's Cabillo, a young gun for the Lightning. Gives it to Borlase, another young gun. Inboard to Whittle. And she's turned it over.
She did. She just sort of almost a little hop into her before she took her dribble.
Every turnover is costly at this point. Well, lucky for the Flames. They'll get it back here.
And that's what Adelaide need to keep doing, being disruptive, get in the passing lanes, get a deflection, make life difficult for Sydney.
What counts in these moments, Laurie? Is it mindset? Is it energy? Is it hustle? Is it play?
Well, I think it's just that
experience.
A little bit of all that you've just mentioned there. Something like that, something as you know, that's not a score, it's not a stop, but a block like that can just inspire your teammates. She just fought through that screen, continued on, did not give up, and that can lift a team.
Willoughby to heel, goes herself, just dribbles out. Here's Borlase down the other end. Just makes it count.
That is a user-friendly roll. That is a home court roll into the basket there.
Get another look at it. Just 19 years of age, Izzy Borlase. As we go to another timeout here in the fourth with 3 minutes and 15 on the clock. It's the Flames by a point. They turn the tables in that third term, led by a point at three-quarter time. Neck and neck in this final quarter as you see some of the top scorers for the night. Willoughby and Whittle doing their best to get their side over the line.
Well, and it's been great that nobody's been in serious foul trouble to really have an impact on any of the rotations at all. So the players that are out there, they can still play hard. They're not conscious of getting fouled out at all, so that's a really good thing. And you know, you talked about what's important in these last 3 minutes, and it is your mindset. It's your poise too. You've got to make sure that if there's pressure from the opposition defensively, that you take care of that. You're strong with the ball. You make good decisions still, and defensively, you need to bring it. You need to put everything on the line here and really play smart defense. Play to your rules. And but make it uncomfortable for the other team.
So we're going to go down to the wire here at the 36ers arena. The crowd trying to get behind their home side, the Lightning. They started brilliantly, but the Flames have hit back in the second half. They hold the smallest of advantages as Munga Kahia goes herself and adds 2 more.
That was a tough finish by Munga Kahia. There were some big bodies in there that she had to navigate through.
Here's Cabillo for Mansfield. Now Whittle.
It's a bit stagnant right now. They've got to have a bit more movement.
Shot clock down to 5. Whittle puts it up, but she's missed. Froling comes up with it. Willoughby can take it down the floor. 21 points for her this evening. Gives it off to Heel. Working on Borlase. Kicks it out to Munga Kahia, who pulls the trigger, and it bobbles out.
That literally went in and back out again.
Mansfield down the other end.
Same thing, in and out.
These are tense moments. You cannot look away. 2 minutes left. The Flames by 3. Mungakahia to Willoughby. Back to Heel. Working on Cabillo.
Great job by Cabillo to
Shot
get...
clock down to 4. And it will be a Flames ball. Willoughby, Whittle got a hand in there. But that was some nervous moments for Sydney, Laurie.
1.3 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to be a long pass. Boles just needs to get up and in, jumping. She might not have enough energy to jump there on the sideline ball.
What can they manufacture here? Clark to inbound, and they have turned it over. So 1:45 left in this contest. The Flames have kept their noses in front in a momentum swinging final term. They're up by 3. All of a sudden, it's just the Lightning under pressure. They can't find some momentum.
They've got to move a bit more than they did the last time.
Oh, Mansfield under pressure from Mungakahia. Now to Boles. Heel gets a hand in there, but...
She did. Boles recognized she had heel on her, wanted to back her down, but a little bit of help came from her teammates and good hands by Shyla Heel.
So the umpire's call here. Didn't quite see what happened, Laurie.
No, I was looking at the shot clock, realizing that there was only, just under two seconds, so it was really just going to be a catch and shoot situation.
So Monroe's at the line, and Froling is having a couple of words to the referee. Talk about massive free throws coming up.
Well, I'm wondering if on the inbounds pass, somebody broke the line of that you're not supposed to go across, and it then becomes a technical foul.
It's just deciding here, I think, how many shots to come.
If it's a tech foul, it's one shot and possession.
Monroe makes it count.
Wow, high drama at the end of this game. 1.5 minutes to go. Now they reset the shot clock, 14 seconds, and you can see the ref sweeping his hand saying you can't break that barrier.
So here's Whittle, game on the line.
They've got to move.
Boles.
I think they got a hand to that.
Just short. Whittle gets it back. Mansfield. 1 minute to go. Mansfield for Monroe. They've lost it. They put the shot up and they've turned it over again. Cabillo couldn't make it count. Here's Mungakahia.
You don't need a foul here. Still lots of time.
1 minute left. Flames up by 2.
Flames have to show some poise, get a good shot, and Willoughby's going to be the one to take it, or Froling. Yes!
Big shot from Froling, and we're heading to a timeout with 49.1 seconds left.
It's now a 2-possession game, so really putting the pressure on the Lightning to have to come out with, 49 seconds left, 2 possessions.
And Froling, she hasn't scored heavily tonight, but star players can only sometimes need a moment. And nerves of steel there. That was a big shot to make in the context of this game.
Absolutely, and we know she's all bandaged up and she's probably not feeling the best, but just she will forget about that right now, and she probably hasn't been thinking about it. She may have a bit of a headache after the game, but that was an outstanding basket for her right at, a pivotal time.
What will the final messages be for both sides, do you think, Laurie?
Well, certainly for Adelaide, they'll be drawing up a play that they need. They need a relatively quick hitter, get the ball, inside. They've got either to make two twos or 3 and a 2, but either way, they want to make a quick hitter. If they don't score, they really need to foul quickly. And, you know, you have to know who on the floor is the least effective from the foul line. Sometimes you don't have that option. You just want to foul straight away, whoever it is. But for Sydney, they need to be, they need to play clean defense here. And then when they do get the possession, be really strong with the ball.
So here we go, 49 seconds left on the clock. Flames by 4, it's a lightning ball. Mansfield to Borlase. Working on heel, drives and makes it count.
10 seconds off that clock, down to 39 now.
Willoughby, slight fumble.
So now they don't need to foul because they scored. They need to get a stop.
30 seconds left. Munga Kahia.
Oh,
yes, has got it with the fist pump as well. Seconds running out. They need to take their shots. That's a miss from Mansfield.
Now they need to foul. What a steal by Mansfield.
She's stolen it and adds 2. This game is still alive. Timeout's called. 14 seconds left, 2 points the margin as we take a look at the steal from Mansfield.
It is never over till that final whistle. And immediately Shane Heel calls a timeout.
This is frantic stuff. So take a look at quickly some of the top scorers. Whittle and Borlase, 19 each. Willoughby's been fantastic for the Flames with 21. Munga Kahia has also chipped in with 14.
So the situation is here is it's Flames possession. So I presume that Shane Heel will advance the ball. He'll advance the ball, and they don't have to score. So that means that for the Lightning, they're going to have to try and get a steal on the inbounds pass. But if they don't get that steal, they need to foul straight away. Stop the clock, hope that they miss one of the 2 or both of them, and then they have that opportunity with maybe 10 seconds, 11 seconds to go down and get a 3 or a 2.
So the final messages have been given.
But for the Flames, it's a matter of getting it in safely to somebody's hands, and then whoever that is strong with the ball because they know that they're going to get fouled.
Who would you want the ball in the hand of if you're the Flames coach, Shane Heel?
Well, Munga Kahia shoots the free throws at 94%, so she would be a good one.
Here she is, Munga Kahia to inbound to Heel. DeBello working hard and has fouled. So step 1 of the plan executed. Clock down to 11.6 seconds.
Oh, so there's not, they haven't reached the 5 fouls yet. So they'll need to foul again. Stop that clock again.
Oh, stepped out of court, I think so.
Did. Cabello just had enough pressure. Just her toenail was on the sideline.
Oh, let's take another look.
Oh,
just a millimetre or 2 out of court. High drama at the 36ers arena. The Lightning with possession with 10.5 seconds on the clock.
Do we dare think overtime, Jess, when we at halftime it was a 17-point
We did
margin?
Not see this coming. The margin blew out to over 20 points during that second quarter. The Flames had a great couple of minutes before halftime to bring it back to 17. Carried on with it in the third. 30 points to 12 in that third to hit the lead for the first time. And it has been neck and neck. Here's another shot of it. Oh, sometimes games just come down to millimetres, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, and that's why you talk about free throws, you know, that they can be whatever you miss in that first quarter is so important. But right now, Nettlehurst will have advanced the ball. She'll have drawn out a play. I would think they will go for try to get a tie, so driving it in hard, maybe trying to draw a foul. But for Sydney, they have to make sure they switch everything so not to allow a 3. And if they do drive to the basket, do not foul them. You know, if they have a clear driving lane, let them score and go into overtime, but do not foul them and make it an and one.
Every single fan of the 36ers arena on the edge of their seats. Mansfield. Her moment. What can she produce? She's missed. And it's a travel call.
Oh. Big call. I didn't see her feet. I'm not sure whether she did move them, but the refs were right there, right on top of it.
So all the Flames need to do from here on is just maintain possession. Clark. Or umpire's whistle. And I think Clark's been fouled. Let's take another look.
Which is what they want to do. They wanted to try and stop the clock if they could have got a steal, but Clark was strong with it. Still haven't reached the five foul mark yet.
2.9 seconds. I think another foul, so we'll do it all again. 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, you can see the Lightning have one more foul to give.
And there it is. So they fought all the way to the final whistle. Just a high drama second half here. Mangaka here can finish it off.
This is a great win on the road for Sydney. They have fought this second half, really picked up their defensive intensity. And there's the ball game.
So unbelievable second half fight back here to the Sydney Flames. They hold their nerve in the final quarter to win their 4th game of the season. An 81-77 victory over the Lightning.
Oh, I think the Lightning will be really disappointed that they let that one slip. It was really in their reach, and I'm sure Nat Hurst and the whole team